Hello students, in this video we're going to revisit on how to solve exponential equations. So do get ready a pen and some papers so that you can practice along with me. Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you the level of difficulty of the questions in a progressive manner, starting from something very simple to something more intermediate. So if you look at part A, this is a relatively easy questions. All we need to do is just to try to apply to put 256 as base 4 to the power of something, and you can just easily use your calculator to try. Okay, just take 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 and see how many times you have to do it to get 256. And if you do it correctly, you'll see that I need to take 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, which means 4 to the power of 4. Okay, we'll give you 4 to the power to the power of x. And since we have the same base, then you can just compare the power, which means we have 2x equals to 4, and x will just be 4 divided by 2 equals to 2. Okay, so this is relatively easy. Now for the next questions, there are two ways of doing it. One easy way is, of course, to express everything as base 2, right? So 8 is just to the power of 3. Now remember, bracket means times. It's like if you have bracket 2, bracket 3, it means 2 times 3. So likewise, I'm going to change the bracket to times. Okay, so that will give you, if you were to remember how we simplify, that will give us 2 to the power of 3 plus times plus bracket negative will gives you negative, right? So that will give you 3 minus x. So we have the same base again, so we can just compare the exponent. Add x on both sides, you will get 2x equals to 3, x equals to 1.5. Now in case you don't want to do it this way, some of you may try to do it using this method, and that's perfectly fine, which means you just changed this negative index to the positive form. All right. Okay. Right. So you have gives you 8 over to the power of x, and you can just do a cross multiply on both sides, which means you just multiply by 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of x. So you have 2 to the power of x times 2 to the power of x gives you 8. That will give you 2 to the power of 2x, and 8 will be 2 to the power of 3. And from there, you get 2x equals to 3, x equals to 1.5. Right, so why am I showing you this method? You see that this method is slightly longer. It's longer than the first method I show you. I'm giving you two versions is to tell you that sometimes if you want to do well in A math, you have to practice a lot until you discover the efficient method. The methods that efficient means that will make you get the answer quicker, plus allow you to make less mistake. Right, let's look at part C. Okay, so if you look at part C, right, it gets slightly harder because right now for part A and B you have just one term on the left, one term on the right, but part C you're just given two terms on the left, right? So we can still manipulate it to become part A and B in the sense that you can just add. Alright, you can just basically bring this guy, alright, over to the right side, and then just express 25 as 5 to the power of 2. Okay, and that's we need to apply this rule here. Okay, so that will gives you a negative. You take 2 multiplied by, okay, bracket it, then you know you have to multiply them because bracket means multiplication. So 2 times negative x will give you negative 2x. 2 times 2 will be 4. Right, so we can just compare your power. You get 4x equals to 8. So therefore x is equals to 2. Right. So these are 3 very basic questions on how you can manipulate solving exponential equations. Right, so let's look at the next question. If you look at the next questions, you will see that it involves 3 terms. Where are the 3 terms? 1, 2, 3. So therefore, we can't apply what we have learned early on, what we have done early on for the first 3 questions. Right. So for such questions, we have to do things, this method called the substitution method. So basically, you just find one exponential terms and replace it with a variable. Right, but before we do the substitution method, we still have to do some groundwork. So what do you mean by some groundwork? Means you still have to bring all the terms to base 2. Right, so 4 is just 2 to the power of 2. I would choose to bracket x plus 1 so that you remember it. Bracket means multiplication, right? So you just multiply your power. Right, and then simplify again into 2 to the power of 2x times 2 to the power of 2. And 2 to the power of 2x is just 2 to the power of x bracket to the power of 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. So after we have done all this groundwork, you can just let 2 to the power of x be a certain variable. You can choose it a, b, c, or whatever, up to you. So you end up getting a quadratic equation, which is a squared times 4 gives you 4a squared equals to 2 minus 7a. And you get a quadratic equation where you can just factorize it. Right, so you will have a is equals to 1/4 or a equals to negative 2. Now, a is a substituted value for 2 to the power x. So of course, this answer have to be rejected. Since 2 to the power x it's an exponential function, so 2 to the power x will be more than 0. So you need to reject 2 to the power x equals negative 2. But however, 1/4 equals to 2 to the power x can be done because 1/4 is 1 over 2 squared. And if you change 1 over 2 squared into negative indexes, 2 to the power negative 2. So from here, you get x equals to negative 2 as the answer. All right, let's look at the next question. So if you look at the next question, again, it involves 3 terms here. 1, 2, 3. Right, so therefore, you have to use a substitution method. Okay, one huge error some students have made is the questions ask you to give your answer in the form log base AB. And from there, some students just log everything. Now, if you do that, right, and then you will find yourself in a very bad position, very bad situation, because we do not have, okay, so when somebody do something like that, it means that you're still not sure on the log laws. Because if you were to remember, you can only have log m times n. That's the product law, right? It gives you log m plus log n. Or log bracket m divided by n. So there's no such thing. There's no such thing as log bracket a minus b giving you log a minus log b. Okay, you don't have such a law for log. Right, so for people who do something like that means that you need to revisit. You need to go and understand the logarithmic laws again. Okay, so if you want to do well in A math, you need to make friends with all the laws, with all the rules. Alright, so we're going to do the substitution method, but we need to put everything as base 7 on the left hand side. So 49 is just 7 to the power of 2. Right, so that will give you 7 to the power of 2x. But you can just interchange it. Remember this one we have learned. Okay, interchange the power. Why would I interchange it? Because I'm going to do substitution method, remember? I'm going to substitute. I'm going to let 7 to the power x be a. So I will end up getting a quadratic equation. But I can just factorize it like what we have done earlier on. Right, so you have a equals to 2, or a equals to 9, or a equals to negative 2, sorry. But so a is a substitute value for 7 to the power x. So having 7 to the power x equals to negative 2, of course we need to reject this answer, since 7 to the power x, it's more than 0, it's an exponential function. So 7 to the power x will have to be more than 0. So therefore, leaving you only to have 7 to the power x equals to 9. So if you want to write the answer, your answer meaning the values of x, that means you need to express x as log form. So this one here, you will need, this is called the index form. Right, so we need to express it as log form. So we just basically bring log to both sides. So how do you do it? So if you look at this one, the base, you see the base is 7. So that is your base. So that will be the base for your log. Whatever that's a base for your index will be the base for your log. Okay, and then 9x. That's how you do it. So x is equals to log base 7, 9. So if you compare with what you asked to do, then a is 7, b is 9. So this is how you do it. Alright, so let's look at the next questions. So again, it involves 3 terms here. Right, bring 3 terms. Okay, so we have to use a substitution method. Right. So we're just going to simplify e to the power negative x. That will give you 1 over e to the power x. Right, so I'm going to let e to the power x be the letter a. So I'll get 3a plus 5 equals to 2 bracket 1 over a. I'm going to multiply by a throughout. Okay, if you look at this denominator, so I'm just going to multiply by a throughout. So I would end up getting 3a squared. I'll end up getting a quadratic equation. Where again, I can factorize it. I'll have a is equals to 1/3, or a is equals to negative 2. Alright, so remember what we said earlier. A is a substituted value for e to the power x. So I would have e to the power x equals to negative 2. Of course, this thing we need to reject. Why reject? Because same reasoning, e to the power x is more than 0. Okay, it's exponential function. So when a is equals to 1/3, what we're saying is e to the power x equals to 1/3. So from here, how do we solve it? How do we solve x? So again, that's why it goes to show how strong you are with making friends with your logarithmic laws and functions and things like that. You will know that ln is natural log, which is log base e. So if you're going to put ln to both sides, which is log base e to the power x, right? You'll see that you can take your x to the power, and log e base e is just basically 1, so x is just ln 1/3. So just remember that you ln e, that will always gives you 1. Ln e will always gives you 1. Okay, so to cut short all this explanation, okay, from this step here, just bring your power to the front. You get x ln e. So x will be just ln 1/3, which if you use your calculator to work it out, right, that gives you negative 1.1 to 2 significant figure. Okay, and yeah, it has only one solution. Right, so we just do some explanation. So since e to the power x equals to negative 2 is rejected, alright, you have to do some explanation because you are supposed to show that it has only one solution. So since e to the power x equals negative 2 is rejected, the only solution is x approximately negative 1.1. And so this is how you solve exponential equations.